Let's try e4, e5. Tried a Sicilian last time. Okay, we got a Vienna game, maybe? Yeah, Vienna game. Okay, I'll play with d5 is my counter to the Vienna game. So there's this square here. I wonder, yeah, okay, the knight prevents the queen check from coming here, but I could come in with a bishop check. Bishop here to here. That's true, he can do that. Okay, I've got a pin here. He's got the idea of bringing his knight here, I suppose, or his bishop here. Well, as long as the knight is pinned, I don't have to worry about my knight. So let's just get castled. Maybe I should put my bishop here. Bishop here, knight takes knight, queen takes bishop. I get a discovered check. Let's go ahead and do that. Okay, so how am I going to develop this knight? Well, I can bring this bishop out now and defend my king and attack his queen side. Maybe I just take here, so I don't have to worry about this pawn. Then start to put my rook on the c file here. He's keeping his king in the middle. Let's stop the pawn advance so I can keep my bishop there. I don't really believe in white's line of play at this point. Okay, so if I take his knight, if he moves his knight, then I can take his bishop. I just have to make sure he's not doing it with an attack on my king here. But for now I can do this. See, if the queen were on this diagonal, then the knight here would be a double threat of queen coming here with mate and bishop takes bishop. Let's undermine that. Interesting. So I don't want to put my, I can't put my knight here. What I really want to do is put something on this file. Let's see. So if I take here and he takes with the queen, rook here, looks kind of dangerous. Could also just take this pawn. Let him have this pawn. Then develop my bishop and my knight. Loose pieces. Loose pieces are a problem. So he puts his queen here. You can't put it there. Maybe bishop takes knight, bishop takes bishop, knight takes pawn. Yeah, that's a good idea too, because then I can put the rook here. And that knight hopping in was worrying me. He can play bishop takes bishop. And bishop takes pawn, I mean. I still think putting the rook here would be pretty good. Take advantage of his central position there. Okay, let's attack the queen. There's another player's playing very fast, and no, it's a problem. So now I can at least check. And develop the queen with check. And mate. Boom, got one. Gina Rook. I don't know, is that you challenging me here? Unhinged. That's unhinged. Unhinged is first. Casual 10-0. Let me re-challenge you. Unhinged loon. So I'm gonna kill this one and re-challenge Unhinged Loon with time control that I prefer. Okay, there we go. 5 and 3. It has to be a time control with an increment. I don't like sudden death time controls, and it has to be fairly fast because you know, for the sake of the stream. I can play slow games, but not when I'm streaming. So Unhinged Loon, maybe he got tired of waiting for me to finish that last game. In which case, I will play you. If you want to challenge me next, Gina Rook. Yeah, well, you saw me get flagged too in one of those games I played. It just happens. Just like to think about things. Yeah, why don't you go ahead with the challenge since Unhinged Loon is not playing. Oh, they're here. He decided to waiting. Oh, that's the one. Okay, so let's kill this. Let's take this. Okay, we got a game. I assume that was you. Looks like we played once before. And I'm white. Let's start with d4. How do you get a smiley face in your name? I don't know why the computer stopped making sounds. Oh, there it goes. Okay. Maybe I was just not hearing it. Okay, we got a King's Indian or a Grinfeld. Oh, the smiley face, newly chess feature. Looks like a King's Indian. I'll do the fianchetto variation here. Okay, so anyway, I won't be complaining about this time about how slow my opponent is moving. Where do I want? I think the knight goes here. And do I want to try and get the bishop out before I play e3? I could try it. Now if I go back here, so I guess I'll end up behind the pawn after all. Although I could, make a battery here. And let's castle though. This is a tough formation to break. I've had a lot of trouble with it in the past. So I'm going to go slow. Yeah, he goes with the pawn. Okay, so when he pushes that pawn, if he pushes that pawn, I will just move my knight. I can drop it back here. Or I could play it up here, maybe. Bit risky. Anyway, I made a battery pointing at this pawn here. Okay, now I'll lift the queen up. I'm thinking maybe I can put a knight here. Or maybe a pawn. Yeah, let's put the rook here opposite his queen. He stepped aside with the queen too. Okay. Okay. So if I do put the knight here, he can just trade it and then bring his other knight up. So it's kind of helping him. So let's put the pawn up. Let's just do that. Knight there. Oh, attacking my pawn. See, knight takes knight, knight takes knight, knight takes knight, queen takes knight. So it's not under fire yet. If I go here, this hits his knight. So maybe a3, b4. Oh, he goes that way. Okay, so now he may be thinking about f5 here. I would be in this case. If I play a3, he's going to play a5. Play b4, he takes en passant. We'll do it gradually, I guess. So b3, a3, b4. And he stepped aside with the... but now he can jump in here. That's pretty annoying for sure. Let's get the rook off the diagonal and lend extra support to this knight here. Knight here, knight takes, pawn takes, bishop takes, rook takes. Yeah, I have enough force here. This is well defended. It is a tough position. Gonna maneuver with my queen a bit. Let's just reposition my king too while I'm at it. So this has turned into a maneuvering game. I'm not at my best in these type of games. It's pretty challenging. Now I can't do a3 and b4. Okay, he can take my rook, but it's just a trade. After pawn takes pawn, all games are like this. Huh. Okay. Everybody plays pawn takes pawn now. I'll have to go back and look at the line. See what other choices are there. Oh yeah, that was when you played E4, I think. E5 rather. And I had a pawn on d4 and he played e5, took it. That was an interesting choice there. Yeah, you did lose on time. Well, I'm sorry about that. Maybe we could play a slow game sometime, but probably not on the stream. It's just a little too challenging to. Well, it's just not that interesting for the viewers. It's better for the fast games. So if we look at this in the analysis board here, it's all pretty normal, I imagine. I'll turn on the engine. Good maneuvering game. Yeah, it was kind of interesting. It's all, just a slight edge for white, typical kind of opening advantage. Didn't like my bishop move. and now it's even. And then, yeah, taking. So, yeah, what are the options here besides taking? E4, D takes, or queen to C1. So I could have gone queen to C1 now. Could have played E4, huh? I don't like playing E4. It gives black the option of taking and creates a structure here, which is a little tricky. Yeah, the graph, I guess, I don't know if you guys can see it. I tried to scroll up there. The graph shows a level game all the way through, pretty much. This was just with the slight edge for white, but just not very much. Anyway, interesting game. Let's see if we can get another one. Another one. There we go. I could play D5. Don't like that either. It kind of gives black the center that he wants, right? Okay. We have a English. I'm going to play with an early D5 to try and open things up. I'm not sure what the E3 move is there. E6, no, E3. Usually they play G3 at that point. Okay, he's just transposing into a queen's gambit. Queen's gambit declined, where I have played C5. Well, I've got the pawn here. I should use it, right? Yeah, so this is just a normal Queen's Gambit declined, it looks like. I can take this pawn, but he'll take back. It just helps his bishop develop, so I usually wait until his bishop is moved and then take it. Yeah, so he gets to do that. That's interesting. I don't know if that's good. This locking up of the center here is maybe not so good, but it's interesting. So I put the knight here. Here, let's first of all, let's block this pawn from coming forward. Yeah. Now let's castle. This is still okay. No no okay, let's kick that knight. No Greek gift sacrifice possible here, because he hasn't got a pawn to chase my knight away. So I want to bring my knight out to here. The question is, hey, he'll just defend the pawn, but maybe he will chase it at some point too. He defended it, so that's good, I think, because now I'm not worried about him playing A4 and B5. Let's see, but I have a problem with my pieces. I need to play E4, I think, E5 rather. Push this pawn so that this bishop has some scope. So I'll try and get that in. Okay, he's thinking about this position. Maybe I could have pushed it right away. I forgot I had the bishop here. Bishop and knight, and he just has a knight, so I could have taken that. Well, putting the rook opposite the queen is always a good idea and make your opponent nervous. Put your rook opposite the king or the queen. Put the royalty on notice. It's not going to be an easy life. See, so I push, he takes, I take, he takes, I take, and I'm hitting his knight here. Right, if I take with the knight first and then retake with the bishop. Looks good. It gives him a majority on the queen side, but he was already getting that anyway. This gives me an isolated queen's pawn, but it's passed. It's not a typical isolated queen's pawn. It's a passed pawn. So good for the endgame. And maybe the middle game too. Maybe I can do some maneuvering around it. He didn't take. Okay, so I take, queen takes, bishop here. He puts the queen here and threatens to mate me. But this bishop is covering that square. There's also knight here. I think queen takes is really the only move. And he says no. Okay, okay. You're going to use your king to attack? Let's make him move his knight. Or his rook, rather. Let's see. Bishop here. He needs to defend his knight. If he moves it, I'll take the rook. So he defended it there and threatens mate too. That's good. Always threaten mate when you can. But is there a way to take advantage of the queen position here? Don't see it yet. Maybe if I put a rook here behind my pawn, I'll be able to take and get a fork here. Haha. He's not falling for the fork. Okay. Something else, maybe. If I just push, he takes, I take, he takes, I take, he takes, I take, he takes. He's got 4 and I've just got 3. Okay, if I play b6, g6, he takes the pawn. I move the bishop here to attack the queen. The queen defends the bishop. I don't think that's worth a pawn, huh? to be able to play g6. Rook takes, pawn takes, queen takes. Yeah, and he might have had something there. But anyway, I can do this now. I might have been hallucinating. Can't tell. Now I need to unpin the knight. Or just free up the bishop to move like this, maybe. Don't know if that was good or not, but I like doubling the rooks here. Yeah, he can attack this pawn. I think maybe I have him here. He resigned. Okay, let's go to the analysis board. There are a couple of interesting points in this game. First of all, at the end here, yeah, it's a mate in two, no matter what he does. He can block with the queen. That's just giving up the queen. Silly thing. And then you mate him anyway. So that was it. Before that, mate in three. It's a -3 here, so I did have an advantage at this point in the game. So let's go back. Yeah, maybe I shouldn't have gone all the way back here. I didn't have so many questions about this. This was a weird decision. If we look at this, it's it's this good for black. So it didn't like this thing that white did over here. It says I should bring the. So why didn't he take with the queen? Because of this. Oh my gosh, his queen is trapped. His queen is trapped, so we had to take with the pawn. That's why this is all good for me. So his big mistake was here. What did he play here? He just retreated his bishop, and then I was able to do stuff. So if he'd retreated his bishop this way, defending the knight, then it's just an even game. He had knight d4 a couple of times. Interesting. I thought I kept, I assume you mean d5. Oh, knight d4. Yeah, knight d4 is a good looking move. Put the knight in front of the pawn. Anyway, turn this off. So I had an advantage from here, and I was just wondering when I got under attack here, could he pull something here? It's his move. Yeah, he can just take this. See, if I take back, he can take with the queen. It's pretty severe. He didn't want to do it, but this is good for him. So it wasn't a hallucination. Yeah, this just was not enough defense over here. I just had the king and the pawn defending the pawn, and he's got 3 pieces attacking it. He has to sacrifice a piece, but it would break things down. So at this point, instead of moving my king, what should I do? I should play d4. Okay, well, how does d4 help? So anyway, I wasn't hallucinating. There was a problem there. It helps by getting his queen away from the diagonal here. Bishop here. What are the pieces? I've got 2 pieces and he's got 2 pieces, and we have 2 rooks and a queen. Why would I sacrifice my bishop like this? Oh, it's not a sacrifice. This is the this is a pinned pawn. Okay, that's crazy. Anyway, so where did I give up my advantage? That's the other question here. Then if I had the advantage for a while. So I have the advantage here. So it didn't like my idea. My idea was to bring the bishop back here. And I saw that I couldn't play e3 right away. Maybe I hadn't thought of that yet. But I can't play g3 because his bishop takes. But the computer, look at the computer, what it's saying. It's saying I can play bishop here right away. Why is this good? Oh, because his queen was defending the knight. And then I forked the 2 rooks. That's a good one. I should have been able to spot that. So when I started meandering here, then it goes back to even. You know, that happens a lot when you have an advantage, but you don't find the best move, and the advantage just disappears. So now it's all about even, and it did not like this plan at all. And we can see why. It just doesn't work with if he had played rook takes pawn. So he played this, and it's back to even. Enough of that. Let's go back and get another game. Oh, so someone is challenging me? Is this the same person? No, somebody new. Casual. 10 plus 10 is a little too long. We can do 5 and 3. Cheetah 65. I can issue a challenge here. Cheetah 65. See, if you're still there, you would have had to have had patience to wait through all of my commentary and game. So not too bad on this session. But yeah, I guess Cheetah's not there anymore. Maybe he's playing. Let's just get a game. Let's play in English. Did e4 and d4. Let's do a c4. Okay, it's going to be like a symmetrical English, maybe. I'm going to go for the Botvinnik system. Keep my center defended. This pawn triangle here with the pawn on d3 and pawns on e4 and c4, that's the Botvinnik system. Also the fianchetto, the bishop, and the knights here and here. All part of that system. And the bishop there. So the nice thing about it is you can get in a lot of moves because if your opponent allows it, you can play all these moves, and they're just a standard good setup. Yeah, there he goes. Okay, so let's kick the knight. Doesn't get to stay there. Only my knights get the center. And then I'm going to play knight here. I wonder if I could trap the bishop. Knight takes knight with check. Bishop takes. No, the bishop can retreat. I'm going to try and keep my center. No, I shouldn't have done that. Shouldn't have done that. There was a mistake there. See, he's got this now. Where did I make that mistake? I made it when I pushed this pawn, huh? Yeah, that was the mistake. Yeah, I shouldn't open up that diagonal. Well, he's thinking maybe he'll give me time to move my rook, but he can just play knight takes knight here, and I have to. When I take back, it's a fork. He takes the rook, I take the bishop, and it's still a fork. So I get 2 pieces for a rook. So I guess it's okay. This is also 2 pieces for a rook. And it cleans out his long diagonal here. So the bishop is attacking my knight. Let's go here. Give the king the ability to step back. So he was aware of that tactic, but I don't think it was good in this case because 2 pieces is not good for a rook. It's not sufficient. So I'm going to take the bishop and put my rook here and threaten mate in the corner. Ah, he stepped out of the way. Okay, so rook here anyway. Okay, he went back. You can't take because of that. So that's a nice little mate. So I'm interested in whether that was okay at the beginning. I was just playing my usual opening here, and like I said, there's all these moves, so you can play these, and they're all pretty good. But here, is this any good? It's even. Okay. The computer would play knight takes f6. Okay, let's get a new game. Back to e4, I guess. Oh, I get a Ruy Lopez here. Bishop b5. And with this bishop move, the early bishop to c5, you can play the center fork trick. Now you have a loose bishop here you have to watch out for. So if the queen comes out with a double threat, right, it's hitting the bishop if it's threatening something here. But I think this is still okay at this point. Just kick that knight, open up a line for your bishop. And, you know, the material is even and you have good development. So that's why this is playable, even though the king is running around. Yeah, the queen can go there. But it doesn't hit the bishop. Now, bringing the knight out defends a few things. Let's see, his knight defends my bishop. Okay, I guess I have to bring it here because this pawn was not defended, and I want to keep that pawn. Maybe I could have played e5 there. Might have been interesting. h4 is sometimes a move here, but right now he's got his queen and his knight on it. I don't think I can do that. Anyway, with the bishop defending this pawn and defending the check along the diagonal, I can bring my queen out. If I get the queens off, it's a pretty comfortable position for me. He allows the queen. Okay, we will do that. And then just step up here to connect my rooks. So yeah, even game, slightly off center here. Do I want to keep the bishop pair? I could go here. But if I do that, he puts this bishop here, huh? And now he's hitting my bishop. So let's I'll attack this pawn, although he can take it. I mean, he can take my bishop. Okay, let's kick that knight. here, 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 here. Yeah, so I have a choice of which knights to take, but I wanted to take this one. I guess he wanted to get in here, huh? So I don't think he's got anything to kill me with here. But he did make me defend. So anyway, my king is coming here next. So he goes there. Okay. And goes there. So he's not. Oh, he's hitting this one. But this is my plan. You see, I wanted to be able to push this pawn. Now, which way? I guess I have to go this way, huh? So he's been very good at keeping me busy. So I haven't had time to lift my king. That is a problem I've run into in this line before. Normally, you have to. I have sometimes had trouble finding a way to develop my king and get the rook out. I could lift the rook up instead of lifting my king up. It's an idea. See, he's doing it again. Okay, the king is up. The rooks are connected. The pawn is defended. Yeah. If I go here, oh, my rook is defended, so it's okay. He can move his knight with check, but my rook is defended. Okay. If I take his rook and he takes back, I can take the knight. He can check. No, he can't even check me. We end up with a symmetric pawn structure. Yes, interesting. Out of such a uneven opening, yeah, he had to do that, I guess. So I'm going to bring my rook down. When I have the chance again, he's still keeping me busy. But now he has to decide whether he wants to defend or attack. He defends. So I'll go here. This is a fork. I'll get a passed pawn somewhere. Over here, it looks like. So yeah, let's just move this pawn move this pawn. Looks like I get this one. Okay, if I take this pawn and he pushes, I lift my rook, he pushes again. So that's push and push. And I put my rook over here kind of just in time to stop it. Move my rook first. King takes the pawn. Put my rook here. I think I can do this. Yeah, so he's going for the draw. His king is pretty far away, though. So the trick here is to keep the king away from the pawn, because you can mate. You can mate with a king and a rook. So at the end, he has to sacrifice his rook to stop this pawn, and his king can't help because it's too far away. So now, let's see, rook here, king over, rook here, king over, rook down, king over, rook here, and king here. I think this works. Maybe his king gets just close enough. What's the right move here? Yeah, his king got just close enough, it looks like. Maybe not. His rook is too close. So I can do a double attack there. If the rook had been further away, it might have been a draw. So that was a win. If we look at that, yeah, So question is, was it a win all along? Yeah, so it's the kind of thing you can do if the king is far enough away. So he had no way of stopping me. I was thought maybe there was a way he could stop me if he got his king in the right position, but he was just far enough away. So if we go back to, he actually made a mistake here. I think he might have had a draw if he had, yeah, it was a draw here. And the mistake he made was he moved his rook and he needed to get his king closer. The king were just one step closer. It's close enough, and you can't pull the same trick. It's got to be 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. There's got to be 5 spaces here. And the rook on the 5th file keeps the king apart, and then you can even win with a rook pawn. Okay, there's your endgame lesson for today. Hope you enjoyed it. Let's see. Alpha, Alba, somebody. Let's play the French. Did a Sicilian, did e5. And hello, only win from disconnect. That's interesting. So we got a 1 hour variation of the French. I'm doing okay today. He pushed. Yeah, that's normal. Pushing is normal. And you don't worry about him taking this pawn, I guess, because, well, for one thing, you can bring the queen out with a double attack. But for another thing, these tripled pawns are more of a hindrance than a help, I think. Okay, this is a standard position in the 1 hour variation. Yeah, you have to defend this pawn somehow. Maybe I should have moved the queen up first. I think that's what I do. I move the queen up first before I bring the knight up. So if I push the pawn, then the bishop comes in. Well, no, I can take the bishop, but I have a problem with this square. So I defend the bishop. I defend the pawn with my king. That is an idea in the French defense. Particularly this 1 hour variation. Let's see. So should I kick the queen? Or just bring my knight out? I can actually chase the bishop off this diagonal if I want to. But let's see, I want to get the queen here. Or do I? I mean, normally that's a position for the queen, but that's maybe earlier in this line. Because now if I take this pawn and take here, I'm not forking anything. I'm hitting the rook, but I'm not forking anything. Let's ask that bishop where he's going. Oh, he's going there. Okay. That makes it easy. Okay, let's see. I need to defend the rook or move it. Let's move it. Okay, we'll step here with the king. Oh, he's going there. Okay, so I move the rook back, it looks like. And we'll see what kind of thing he can come up with. Yeah, he's going after the pawn. I go here, he brings the knight here. I go here. He attacks my knight. Yeah, I guess I can't do that. Let's, oh, I can't do that. Can't do that. Let's kick that queen. Okay, lift this pawn so bishop can get off the back rank there. Although I don't know if that's where I want to put the bishop. Yeah, I was thinking I could put the rook here. That was silly. So the queen went behind the pawn, so it's no longer attacking here. Got my bishop out of jail. Okay, rook there. So I can take this pawn. I can check the king. I kind of want to take this pawn. Now let's step up with my queen so I can bring the rook over if I need it. Oh, let's see. Only win from disconnect. I learned to play chess when I was a kid. So I've been playing for a long time. So if I take, he takes. I take the bishop. He takes. Ah, the queen, the bishop decided to run. Running is the better part of valor, it seems like. So let's see, if I take and he takes and I take and he sacrifices here. Oh, the queen is defending it, so we're good. Running is a better part of valor. Okay, so he's attacking this pawn. He's attacking the knight. But this pawn is defended. Knight here. Knight here, not possible. Here, not possible. Yeah, not limited number of squares I can go to, really. So let's bring this rook over. Ah, the queen defends it there, but not for long. I want to switch over to the other side. So I had an idea here. Yeah, that was kind of it. It was a pin. I didn't expect him to take. I was just planning to push the pawn. And he ran out of time. He could have piled up pressure on the knight and maybe gotten the piece back. Let's see. What does the analysis board say? Says I'm winning. And he should move his knight. What happens if he tries to put pressure on the knight? Oh, I could put the rook here, the bishop there. That's pretty good. And then there's not another piece that can really put pressure on the knight. So I'm good. So I have time to move my queen away and keep the knight defended. Good game, yeah. Yeah, that one turned out pretty well. Let's see, 11:30. We still got time. Let's go back and see if we can play some more.